All right. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Year 11 General Maths. If we haven't met before, my name is Mr. Shear. I'm very pleased to be your teacher for Head Start and hopefully next year as well, as long as nothing changes. I do recognise quite a few of you from Mr. Clark's classes in semester 1 and 2. I think the good news is General Maths is viewed by most people to be easier than Year 10 Maths. So there's nothing non-linear. So you should find Year 11 better than Year 10. Yes, ma'am.
Will you be our maths teacher next year, or is it just a head start?
So the plan is yes. Okay. So they're doing the timetable right now. Yeah. So as long as nobody resigns or changes time fraction, yeah, I'll probably be the teacher next year. Okay. All right. Welcome, Clayton and Archer. Just make sure you get a handout. Every All right, year 11s. So if I could get everyone to finish the conversations. I'm sure you're excited because school's about to finish in a few days for you. I'd be excited too. So I just want to go through the handout that says introduction at the top to start with. Hands up if you did a VCE or year 11 vet subject this year. So about half of you. Okay. So for the rest of you, I'm guessing this is the first time you're doing VC subjects, so I'll go through sort of the things to expect from a VC subject and in particular general maths as well. So first thing is you do need to buy a textbook. The textbook was only published a couple of weeks ago. It looks like this. It's got a bright orange cover. It's called General Mathematics Units 1 and 2. You want the Unit 1 and 2 for Year 11. It's a new study design, so you have to buy a new edition, unfortunately. So you will only purchase a new book for next year. Okay, so year 11s. Have you received a book list yet for next year? Is the general maths textbook on the book list?
Yes.
Alright, let's confirm that for tomorrow. I'll ask them at staff. So it's Cambridge University Press, second edition. You need the new study design, so it looks like this. Okay? Alright. Let's keep going. So we've done the textbook. Assessment overview. Alright. So the way that we've run general maths for many years is to give you a test at the end of every topic, which is probably what you did this year. You will also be given some homework style questions. And I know that you've done a textbook work program in year 10, but you also hand in some questions for the teachers to mark. We'll give you some feedback on those as well. I wouldn't stress about the tests or the assignments. They're meant to be straightforward. And I will try to give you 2 weeks notice before these are due. One thing that might be new is we will also have an exam at the end of the unit. So in year 10, did you have like a big test to cover the whole semester? No. So in a VC subject, that's pretty standard. So you can expect to have that in the VC subject next year. So we'll have one as well. And if you're looking to get honours in this subject, you want to aim for an average of about 80% across everything. So 3 assessments next year: tests, homework, questions on assignments, and an exam at the end of the semester. All right, let's look at expectations now. This is where I think the changes are going to be big for you. How much study do you think a year 12 VC student is supposed to do per week? Oh, it's there. Okay, so don't panic. Having spoken to a lot of you, I know some of you do 0 at the moment. Okay? So I'm not saying you have to do 15 hours a week next year, but if you're serious about getting the most out of your VCE and you want to aim as high as you can, that's sort of what you need to do. So that's the end goal. Okay? So you might choose to start at 5 hours a week and then slowly build your way up throughout the year. Okay? But my suggestion for general maths is to do about 2 hours a week. Right. So you can't count watching Netflix as study time, unfortunately. You can't count time on the phone with your friend. No, you've got to actually have to look in front of you and do questions. I taught year 11 general maths this year, and I reckon when my class started, a lot of them didn't do any homework. As the year went by, they felt they had to do some to keep up. So if you don't think you have to do any work yet, I believe you will change your mind by the end of next year. But I just want to put it on the table now. My recommendation is 2 to 2.5 hours of private study per week if you want to stay on top of this subject. Okay. Next thing, stuff that you need to bring to every class. You need a CAS calculator. Who has a CAS calculator? So when you say new one, what do you mean?
Not like one. Yeah, not that.
Correct. So my one is actually dead. So this is not a CAS calculator. This is a scientific calculator. A CAS calculator is bigger because of the black case. Now, the good news is you don't need it this week, but you will need it pretty early next year. It is $240, but if you catch a year 12 to finish this year, you might be able to buy it off them for a cheaper price. So, if you are intending to do general maths in year 12 and not just year 11, you definitely need a CAS calculator. And it's been very annoying for me teaching my year 11 class when they arrive with a flat calculator and they can't use it. So, guys off the back, you need to bring a charger with you to class so that your calculator can live and do things for you. All right, so that's probably the most important thing on the list. Laptop, a book to write in, and your bound reference. So I believe, having been here for a year now, that you keep the same book from the day you start at the school and you write in it whatever the teacher tells you to. Is that right? So bring that to class as well. If you are running out of room in your bound reference, you can get a new one. But if you think you have enough room to last you for the whole year, just use the one that you're using right now. In year 12, we actually do something different. So I'll leave it up to you with what you want to do. In year 12, we write on loose leaf and bind it at the end of the year. So there will be times in class when I say, get out your bound reference and write this down. So you need to have whatever you're writing in with you every class. Next expectation is if you are away, please make sure that you contact me so that I can tell you what work you can catch up on. I will notice if you are away, but hopefully you realize that teachers are busy people and sometimes we can't be on top of everything at once. So if you tell me that you're away, or you tell me that you're going to be away, that's even better because I can get you to work beforehand. So you're finishing year 10 now, yeah? So does that mean most of you turned 16 this year? Yes. Okay. Sweet 16. Do you consider yourselves adults?
No.
Why not?
Because
Okay, so there are certain things you can't do. But what's the difference between what do you think is the difference between a teenager and an adult? So I heard age. Okay, so I heard Clayton say age just now. Guys, listening. I heard someone say age just now. Girls, what again? I heard someone say age, but I can show you lots of 20-year-olds, people in their mid-20s who are very immature. The only person in their 20s is me, so there should be no big blame.
Are you in your 20s?
Yes, I'm in my 20s. Okay, so in my mind, I want to treat you like adults. So, what does that mean? Maturity. I expect you to grow up and to be mature. I expect you to take responsibility for your own learning. And that means, because you know how when you're, I don't know whether you'll agree with this, but I think when you're younger, sometimes you want to do what your teacher asks you to do because you want to please them. But you need a stronger reason than that as an adult. Now that you're thinking about leaving school soon, you want places to go, what are you actually going to do when you walk out those gates for the last time? Emily?
You should have stayed in place. It's really hot.
Yeah. Go on. I will tell you that. Let's compromise. Alright, hands up. Your 11s, hands up if you know what you want to do when you leave school. It's about half of you. That's very normal. So think about how general maths helps you to get to where you want to go. Maybe you just want to get your VC certificate and hightail it out of here after that. Then all you need to do is pass this subject, pass it in year 12, and off you go. Okay? Maybe you're not going to go to further study. Maybe you've already got a job or an apprenticeship lined up. Alright, year 11s, quieting down, listening. Guys, I'm very talkative, just like my last group. So where we left off was, where do you want to go after you leave school? Maybe you just want to get your VC certificate and you're done with it, and you can pass this subject. Maybe you've already got a job lined up. Maybe you won't be at school after year 11. Then take what you can from this subject to help you not get scammed. Or maybe you want to go to university. I've got some students in my year 12 class. They may be the first person in their family to go to uni. So, you know, maybe you've never considered university. Why not put it on the table? But if you want to get into university, off the back. If you want to go to university, it's a competitive process. You've got to work hard. So every question that you do, every time you're listening, every time you're writing notes, it's all working towards something. Right? So you need to know what that is. And because I'm treating you as adults, I'm leaving it to you to decide what you want to do after you leave school. Then work back. How does this subject help you get there? Alright? So what I've found this year as a teacher is that the students who do the best, the students who are happiest, the students who get the most out of this subject, they're the ones who already know what they want to do, and they're the ones who have a very clear goal in front of them that they're working towards. So if you don't know what you're doing after you leave school, that's actually my first encouragement to you. Find that out. Find out what you want to do. Have some options. And then you will have more motivation to actually study and do this subject. Okay? Alright, so remember guys, I consider you, even though you're 16, my plan is to treat you like adults. I am not going to baby you in this subject. You are responsible for your own learning. Alright, on the back page, I've given you some tips for how to succeed in this subject. So I've taught maths for a few years, 1 year at this school, a couple of years at Monash. So,
What made you come here?
well, I wanted to become a secondary... I got asked that question by my last class as well. Well, I wanted to be a secondary school teacher. To be really honest with you, I find the year 10 to year 12 age group the most interesting. So, I quite enjoy teaching them. Okay, question for you. Do you feel dumb when you ask a question in class?
Yes.
Why?
Because we don't know.
Alright. There's a very instructive moment here. If you want to get better at maths, you need to ask questions. You've got to learn to be comfortable with the fact that you don't know something. And that by realizing that you don't know, there's an opportunity to grow and to learn. Okay? So, having spoken to quite a few students, they tell me they don't want to ask for help because they don't want to feel dumb. But what I want to say to you is, the students who do the best in the end are the ones who ask questions. So, if you're not happy with the way math has gone for you over the last 10 years of school, you can make a big change this week, and next year, and the year after that, simply by asking questions. So instead of suffering in silence, pretending to work, as I know many people do, come and talk to me. Talk to the people around you. So if you want to do well, ask questions. That's my number one tip for success in maths. All right, next tip. Imagine you're going to go play a tennis match. And I'm going to give you two options for preparing for this match. Option number one, you're going to just turn on the TV and watch Federer and Djokovic matches. But you're not going to actually pick up a racket. You're just going to watch people playing tennis. Option number two, you go down to the court, you pick up a ball, you pick up a racket and hit.
Option 3,
Which one's better for getting ready for the match?
Option 2.
Why is number 2 better? You're actually practicing. Okay? You all get it in tennis, right? In sport? It's the same thing in maths. The way you get better at maths is by practicing. So that means doing questions. There's a bit of a trap that I've seen people fall into. A lot of my students want to spend a lot of time writing notes. They'll spend half the period just copying the textbook into their book, into their bound reference, and they think that's how they're going to improve. But that's not just watching people playing tennis. If you want to get better, you've got to actually go and play. If you want to get better at maths, you need to do action questions and correct them. Don't just take notes. Don't just watch me do it. You need to do it yourself. Alright, that's it as far as introductions go. I'm now going to hand out the first unit of work. Anyone want some? So please write your name on this booklet. Okay. Has everyone got, so please turn also to the other sheet that was handed out. It says Head Start Program at the top. So I haven't got it here, I'll pull it up. So, yes, you have holiday homework. I imagine you have it in all of your subjects. Okay. All right. Okay, year 11s. So when I'm speaking, I expect everyone to be listening. So this means you are not having conversations with the person next to you if I'm teaching. All right, that's better. Now, this is the plan for this week. So today, we're just going to do one exercise. We'll do a couple of examples. Now, this topic is something that you already know. I've observed some of Mrs. Collett's classes. You've just done a topic on linear equations recently, right? And then you did certain random things in Mr. Kite's class. Okay. All right. So in theory, in theory, you should already know what's here. We'll find out. And I'm here to help you if you don't. Now, Friday, I'm not sure how we're going to go with getting through 2 things on Friday, period 5 and 6, on your last day of school for the year. So maybe we'll just do 1. We'll see. All right? Now, this is your work program. So you don't have to do every question, just the ones that I've listed. Okay? It's a bit long if you try to do everything. Now, if at any time you need help, you can ask me in class, you can ask me at school, during a study period. You can also send me a message on Teams, and that includes over the school holidays and over the weekends. If you email me, if you message me at midnight, I might reply because I'm usually awake at that time. All right, quieting down. Not finished. Yes. So the way it works is waiting. So next year you will probably get about 3 study periods on a Wednesday, and they won't be dedicated for any subject. So it'll be up to you to decide how you want to use those study periods. So you might have a Unit 3-4 SAC coming up that week. You might choose to put all your time into that SAC. Or you could spread it across all of your subjects. It's up to you. Okay? I will try to teach you how to study next year. Now, here's the main point. When we come back next year on the first day, I expect all of these questions to be done. Now, we are going to work through at least just in the table. All 3 columns. Guys, calm down. We're going to do the first 3 rows this week. The second half is stuff that you've already seen multiple times in Year 8, Year 9, and Year 10 maths. So it should be revision. Huh? Yes. Now, to keep you accountable for getting your homework done, the following things will happen on the first day next year. I will check all of your workbooks next year to make sure that this work has been done, and I will hold a quiz testing 5A to 5F, so a short test. If you pretend to be sick, you can sit it on the day that you come back to school. Great. You can wait until you get better. Yes, Ben.
So the testing on the stairs.
No, you're doing all 3 columns over the holidays. You're doing everything. Okay? Okay. So, apart from pretending to be sick in advance, are we clear on what the expectations are for the first day back next year? So you'll have this homework done, and you'll be ready to do a short test on this. All right. Now, I don't want you to panic. I think you'll find that it's pretty straightforward. Let's do some examples. So if you have a book to write in, feel free to take notes. I am recording this class, so this will go on YouTube later today. And I will upload... I'm recording at the moment, yes.
How long have you been recording?
From the beginning.
What?
Well, you're not being videoed.
Are you just recording that?
The screen, yes. Yeah, your faces aren't in the video.
I was gonna say.
No. Only this is on the YouTube video, okay? I will also upload this written thing. All right, year 11s. The sooner I get the work example done, the sooner you can start chipping away at your holiday homework. So I want to give you as much time as possible. So this is not a question on the work program, but it's a similar question. Your title is Substitution of Values into a Formula. What's up? You want something to write in? Sure.
No, we have stuff in our boxes.
Okay.
Could we just go get up?
Yes, you can. Yeah. Yep. So my recommendation is that you do take notes. Some people prefer to just sit back and take it in, but some people are also just lazy and can't be bothered writing notes. So if that's you, you should write notes. Okay. What does substitution mean? What's your understanding of that word?
You got a new teacher.
As an example. So, substitution. Replacing? I think that's pretty good.
Temporarily replaced.
When you have a sports match, if someone gets injured, you have a sub, right?
You could have used teaching as an example.
I'll substitute teacher.
Does that say number of hours Hall is hired for?
Yes. Alright, so I'm going to substitute for many of you this year. Alright, so they give you this formula, and then they ask, what is the cost of hiring the hall for 4 hours?
How is that on your computer if you're writing with it?
I've got a drawing tablet here.
That is so
Alright, so we've got the formula set up here. And we know that C is the cost of hiring the hall, T is the number of hours that we hired the hall for, and the question that we're asked is, how much will it cost to hire the hall for 4 hours? Say that again, Jess?
Like, that's right. It won't cost anything.
Yeah, switch the T out for the 4, I like it. So, you don't need to write this, but if you want to, substitute T equals 4. T could be any number here. But the point is that if I am going to ask a specific question, such as how much is it for 4 hours, I will change the letter T to a specific number, in this case 4, because I'm interested in 4 hours of time. So, when I change T to 4, C is going to take on a specific value. 50t. What is that short for? 50 times t. So if I change t to 4, it's going to be 50 times 4. Now, good news, you are allowed a calculator at all times in this subject, so you don't need to do any mental maths. But if you can do it in your head, that's great. Are we finished with this question? It depends on how you've been taught. So in general, it's good practice if you are asked a worded question to answer the question with a sentence. We've been asked, how much does it cost to hire the hall for 4 hours? We're pretty much there. I've got a number. But if I were to put it into a sentence, what could I say? Great. That's it. So this is your number. That's your answer. So, to hire the hall for 4 hours, it will cost $1,400. And now we've explicitly answered the question that's been asked. We haven't just written down a number. So I would prefer that you answer a worded question with a sentence like that. Okay. Part B. Part B asks, what is the cost of hiring the hall for 6 hours? This question is very, very similar. We just need to change one thing. Very good, then. We're going to substitute t equals 6 instead of 4 because we're asked for 4 hours, or 6 hours, sorry. So notice this time, t will take on the value of 6, and now c is going to change. Gentlemen who came back, we're on question 4. Yep. Okay. It will cost $1,500. Alright, is this okay for you? You comfortable doing this?
Yes.
Alright. There's one more thing I want to do with you. This is not in the question. I just want to briefly do a table of values with you as well. Yep, that's fine. All right, year 11s.
Does that say tally?
Table of values. Did you do tables of values when you did linear graphs?
No.
I don't.
Very sure.
Okay. So that's a bit of a worry. I'm pretty sure you have. When you made linear graphs, probably started off with tables of values and then drew the graph. So imagine that t was 0 here. So have a look at the formula. C equals, it's the same formula, 1200 plus 50t. If I set t to be 0, what's the value of c going to be? Why is that, Archer? Brilliant. Okay, so when t equals 0, c equals 1200 plus 50 times 0, which is 1200 plus 0, which is just 1200. So in this first column here, when t is 0, c is 1200. What's going to be the next value? Okay? So, okay, hands up if you have seen this before, tables of values.
No idea.
Okay, there's a couple of these in the exercise as well. So if you need help, just call me over and I'll get you started. All right, I actually think I'm ready to release you to start doing your holiday homework. So, exercise 5A, there's some questions for you to do. Feel free to get started. Remember, as soon as you get this homework done, as soon as the holiday homework is done. All right, thank you. Sorry?